We were here years ago when we had a thing called the anvil chute, and they actually used to stack one anvil on top of the other and light a fuse under it. And this anvil would blow up into the air, and they would clear the crowd back, but you wasn't sure where it was going to land. So our insurance people stopped that within the next couple of years. It was a big deal. It was like a cannon going off when they put the dynamite between the two anvils.
Back in 1924, they had the first Fiddlers Convention in Athens. And then in 1930, there were two brothers, Alton and Rabin Delmore, and they won the Best Musician category in 1930 here in Athens. And after winning that, or a product of winning that, was they got a demo deal down in Atlanta. So the two brothers drove down to Atlanta, did this demo. So that was in 1931 when they did the demo. By 1936, Alton and Rabin Delmore were the most popular act on the Grand Ole Opry. This Fiddlers Convention launched their career, and of course, just like with many things that happened when the Depression came, things like that, World War II, things kind of fell apart, and then it started back up in 1977. This convention, actually started 100 years ago.
This festival, it has such history to it. There are people that have come here for generations, to come and they know people. They've known people and played music with people for 20, 30 years at this festival.
My mother is a fiddle teacher, and so at 16 months old, I started playing rhythms, and I would sing the song. And at 18 months old, she taught me to use my fingers, my right hand. I'm left-handed, but I play a right-handed fiddle.
I was a teacher in Nashville. I had a string band program at Hunters Lane High School. I taught there for 20 years and taught high school age kids to play this kind of music. And once I retired from there, I got a position at the Blair School at Vanderbilt, teaching old-time music, mandolin, and fiddle tune accompaniment. And that's just what I've been doing ever since I started doing festivals. The first festival I ever went to, I was a young man that played the mandolin. I really didn't know my way around it much. I'd been playing rock and roll and country music before. This young fellow on the mandolin kind of showed me the ropes and told me the names of the tunes they were playing. And I picked him at the Smithville Fiddlers Jamboree, and he wound up winning first place. And I've been hooked ever since,
I like to call this weekend the happiest weekend of the year in Athens, Alabama, because we have about 10,000 plus people that come out and just enjoy old-time music. And that's what really this whole convention has been about from the beginning.
So to me, the Fiddlers Convention has two primary objectives. First of all, it's the foundation's largest fundraiser, but then it also aims to keep old-time music alive. And some people may say that it's a dying tradition, but it's one we definitely keep alive around here. And to the community as a whole, this is the largest festival and event that is held in Limestone County each year. and it draws in upwards of 10,000 attendees each year, which is quite, the benefit for the city and community and county as a whole in terms of tax revenue and kind of a ripple effect of how it benefits everybody around.
We bring all the food trucks and the craft vendors, and all these people are small businesses, and so we're giving them an opportunity to showcase what they can offer and create a following that way.
Last year, we sold over 10,000 tickets. There's about 3,000 tickets that go to sponsors, 12 and under free, so it's about 15,000. It's the biggest thing that happens in North Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama, judges contestant number 104, middle plate Bob up.
The mission of this particular event is the preservation of old-time music.
Competition kind of causes most of us to want to step up and play our A game.
Competing at this event was it was really interesting because I've competed in the past at different contests, and usually the judges are sequestered. So here they're right in front of you, but the audience is so appreciative, and the fellow contestants here, it's like family.
So my first fiddle contest, I was 2.5 years old, and I placed in the top 10, ages 8 and under. And my first national fiddle contest in Weiser, Idaho, I was 3 years old. And I broke the grand championship record in 2021. I've won it 6 times now.
My main thing is to play accompaniment for other people, and people ask me to. There are other music teachers that'll say, "Well, go find the guy with the feather in his hat, and the beard, and he'll play guitar with you, and he knows all the fiddle tunes and whatever you want to play." I'm normally pretty capable of figuring it out how to play with them, and it's just fun playing.
This contest is a lot different than most fiddle contests, just by the sheer number of people that are here. This is a big contest, a big festival. There's always a great crowd here, and it's always a lot of fun playing out there late at night with so many people out there listening. It's just not really the norm for fiddle contests.
Our fiddle player in our band, he comes down here every year, and he enters all the contests, whether he wins or whether he doesn't. It doesn't matter to him. I think he just likes to compete.
Everybody talks backstage and congratulates each other, and it's so that makes it fun, because competing can be really intense and a lot of people get so nervous.
For me, I'm a professional musician, so competing in a fiddle contest gives me the opportunity to just play the fiddle, not with a band, and be the focal point of attention, which I don't always get to do that, so it kind of helps me sharpen my skills. So I think that's what I like about it. That's also what I don't like about it, though, because it can get a little scary being under the microscope like that. But I think it's good. It kind of helps me stay sharp.
As a teacher, I wound up with all the instruments, and it's always helpful at a festival, if you're going to try to not go broke, to put as many lines out as you can and hope something hits, you know. So I've won the dulcimer and the mandolin, the guitar, the harmonica, the dobro. What else is there here? And I've placed in the fiddle, and we've won the old-time string band here many times.
I play pretty much any of the stringed instruments that they have at these contests typically. I've slowly picked up the harmonica recently. Competing is a lot of fun. For me, it's kind of these are like my old friends and family, so it's more of a chance to get to sit on stage and play a tune. Like I said with Rob, it's really fun to just get to sit in front of a big crowd of folks and play a tune. And anytime I come to one of these festivals, I take a little wagon full of instruments with me.
There are some really, really talented people around here, and you realize how tough it must be to make it to the top in the music industry when everybody you meet is a top-notch musician.
What I love is to not so much stand in front and watch the competition itself. What I love is to go back behind Founders Hall and watch people jam. And it's incredible that people that don't know one another, have never met one another, can walk up and start playing music together. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. And one of the things this convention has done is it also incorporates and has competitions for young people, because we think that is the future of this. If we're going to continue for another 50 plus years as a convention, we're going to have young people involved. So Saturday mornings are exciting because you'll see kids from 5 years old all the way up through their teens, and they're out competing and having fun and again, reinvigorating that old time music through their playing.
My favorite part really is probably the variety of people you have here. You know, you'll have the bluegrass players that, you know, are from around here, maybe whatever. Then you'll have people from Idaho or Texas sometimes, and you learn so much from all of them. I have won the apprentice division here twice, and then I made the top 8 last year in the adults. competing is really a wonderful thing, especially here. There's such a wide variety of players, really. I might have my teacher, he comes and he competes. He's actually won this before, and he'll back me up or something, and it's all friendly competition. It's just wonderful.
We've seen more and more kiddos picking up an instrument, wanting to learn how to play. Through some efforts of those on our steering committee, we are creating in-school lessons here in Limestone County at a handful of schools to actually introduce children to an instrument. They sometimes miss that in the school program, and so we're going to offer that after school. We've also partnered with the Storytelling Festival here in Athens, and going to bring children from every school in Limestone County to that festival. And so we're working with them and doing a bluegrass storytelling segment so that they can also get exposure through an instrument that way.
I'm hoping that the next generation will definitely keep it up. And there are a lot of young players across the country that are doing that. They've been competing and performing and recording and teaching at festivals. And so I don't think it's going anywhere, but still, I definitely like to do a lot to keep that going.
Absolutely. The younger generation is embracing it because we're seeing more and more competitors, and even the people that are winning the state championships are younger people. In previous years, back many years ago, it was typically older fellas that were winning it. We've had women win it, and that's exciting to see women compete. And last year we had a young woman that won it, and it was that's invigorating to me. I think it's invigorating to our committee to see that there are young people that are going to carry this tradition on.
I think my favorite part of this festival is that it's just like a great crowd of people. Usually the weather's perfect. It kind of feels like the beginning of fall, which also kind of feels like the right season to be playing this type of music and stuff. Kind of nice to have parties outside, fires, leaves falling, all that kind of stuff. Just feels like a good atmosphere for old-time bluegrass music.
Athens is so different in that everybody is here to see everybody, At some of the bigger conventions or bigger gatherings of people, it's business and that kind of thing going on. Here, there's no business. It's only the fellowship issue that comes into play with this more than any other place I've ever been.
I like the musicians I meet. Most musicians are really nice people. And my daughter, she plays, and what happens is I think music is a nice thread that runs through people, and I think you can become friends with a lot of people through just the music,
One of the things that we see people do year after year is come to campus and they'll bring their RVs and campers, and even some people camp in tents, and they kind of live here for the weekend. And so it really does become a sense of community, between the campers who have been here year after year, and they meet all of their neighbors and they return, and it's kind of like a homecoming year after year. And so it definitely becomes a part of the community as a whole.
People love being here and being together and seeing each other. Some folks don't see each other for a full year, and they come here and they get to reconnect and enjoy each other, and then everybody goes about their lives for another year.
It's a really great community. We're all friends. Some of us are really close, and even the people that I don't talk to all the time, when I see them here, it's such a nice reunion to see all of our friends and acquaintances, and we play together, and sometimes we just visit too. So it's a very community-oriented thing. And I've got twin boys that are 2, and we've been taking to these since they were born. And now they're starting to get involved a little bit too. So it's just a kind of a family affair. It's a family-friendly event, which I think is sometimes rare these days. So it's nice to have something we can all do together.
So that's part of it that I like, because this kind of music that we play, it's not just good music, but it's very relational too. Some of the best friends that I have in my life have been through this style of music. We may not see each other for, a year at a time, but when we get back together and visit and hang out and play music, it's just like, it's like the next day. So I really like I like the feel of it. It's very family oriented, which I like a lot. And even if people aren't family, they sort of are family at this festival. So it's got a great feel.
It's important for this music to continue because it is that camaraderie that we spoke of earlier. The digital world that we live in is great. It's very convenient, but there's still something about sitting down and talking to a fellow human being about something that you connect with. That being music or voice or whatever it is you're into like that. You can sit down and just chat about that. Even instruments, musical instruments. The conversations go on and on and on about old guitars and old banjos and new guitars. It's part of this culture, and the only way to experience that is to come here in person and do that. You can't text it, you can't email it in, you got to come and do it.